Because of his MS, Mike Taylor may be confined to a wheelchair, but that doesn't stop him. Among other milestones, Mike has swum the English Channel, and 3 times he has swum from Catalina to Santa Monica. Mike has the secret. Don't focus on what you can't do. Give your attention to what you can. That's how he became a public speaker. Welcome the chairman of the Domain of Opportunity, Mike Taylor.
Hi, I'm Mike Taylor. I have multiple sclerosis, and this is my disability. What's yours? What is your disability? Now, I'm not talking about physical or mental, because my definition of a disability is something that holds you back from having a great and fulfilling life. And according to my definition, I would say the majority, if not all of you in this room today, have a disability. It could be you're a few pounds overweight, you're too tall, you're too short, you're a little bit shy. What is your disability? Some disabilities are more dramatic than others. Mine, multiple sclerosis, wheelchair, I think you'll all agree is very dramatic. And I bet you're all sitting there thinking, wherever you may have, I'd rather have my disability than what you have. Am I right? Just about everybody has something that holds them back from the lives of their dreams. And here's the problem. This may or may not be true. We all have a tendency to focus on what we can't do. I know I did when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. That's all I did, was look at what I couldn't do. But when I started to focus on what I could do, my life changed dramatically for the better. A disability is anything that's holding you back from having the life that you'd really love to have. Anything. Now, I'm not going to go into this or leave this up to your therapist. But let's say it's true, what your disability does hold you back from. It could be you're too short. That holds you back from your dream life of playing the NBA basketball team. If you're a few pounds overweight, that holds you back from approaching that girl you've seen walking around. You're too skinny. That pulls you back from approaching that guy you like. You're not qualified enough. You think that holds you back from the career of your dreams. What is your disability? Now, if you go to your handouts, you'll see a list of disabilities there. Yours may be on it. If it is, mark it. You may have more than one. If you have, mark them. If yours isn't on there, write it at the bottom. The most important thing you can do for me today is to be totally honest with yourselves. If you're not totally honest with yourselves, you'll get nothing out of me. I'll give you a couple of minutes. If you look over my left shoulder here, you'll see a large graphic. A large circle with a black dot in the middle of it. That black dot represents your disability. In other words, what you can't do. I call it a black hole, because a black hole out in space is an area with a huge gravitational pull. The closer objects get to it, the more they get sucked in. And like with your disability, the more you focus on your disability, the more you'll get sucked in. But what all of us don't do, is look outside that black hole, into that large white area, which I call the domain of opportunity. The domain of opportunity, it represents everything you can do. Look at the size of it. Where would you rather be? In that huge area of what you can do, or in that small black hole of what you can't do? Okay, now I've got my attitude up. I'm starting to look around at myself and look at everything that I can do. But there was something missing in my life. Something very important, something I'd always had. That was challenge. Just because I'm in a wheelchair doesn't mean I couldn't have challenge. So I needed challenge. Now, clearly I couldn't go out there and run a marathon, but I could swim. Swimming was something possibly I could do. So I started to try to swim, but when your legs don't work, swimming is actually quite hard. You do need a little bit of help. My help came in the form of a float, which I put between my legs. It put me in the position I needed to be in. It was still hard, but I trained really hard at swimming. And that was my challenge initially, to go from A to B in that pool. After a while, about 3 or 4 months, I could actually do a mile in a pretty good time. But now my attitude was really up, and I needed a bigger challenge. I could swim. The pool was too short now. I needed a bigger distance. I needed to go from A to B without having to turn around. And I know what you're all thinking. Okay, Mike, go and find a lake or a river. I didn't. I went and found the English Channel. 21 miles of open water. Now, I didn't always believe that I could do this, but I believed in the possibility that I could do it. When I believed in the possibility, that just opened up my world. This is something I thought, this is going to happen. And it did. And now I was in a new world of challenges, and my world opened up a lot. My best friend lives over in Los Angeles, and I get a phone call from him. He said, Mike, what you've just done with the English Channel sounds fantastic. Let's do something over here. Let's get a lot of media coverage. We'll do great. I said, Chris, that sounds good, but what are we going to do? He said, there's an island off the coast of Los Angeles called Catalina Island. We can swim from there to Santa Monica Beach. And I'm like, Chris, how far is that? He said, 21 miles. I said, okay, the channel is like that, but it's Pacific. Are there not sharks in it? He said, don't worry about that. It's fine. There won't be a problem. So by the time I got my team together to take part in this international relay race that we put on out here, I get another phone call from Chris saying, actually, Mike, it's not 21 miles, it's 38. And sharks might be a problem. We did it. It was a huge success. That swim went on for the following 3 years. 38 miles every year. That was a big, grueling event for me. And amazing one because I met some amazing people. And most importantly to me, on the last swim, I met a young girl. 4 years later on, I married her and moved out to Los Angeles. I'm a slap in the face in your old way of thinking. I remind people that there's a whole universe out there of what you can do. I call it the domain of opportunity. The more you focus on what you can do and take your attention away from what you can't do, your life changes.